What's up, Rockstars, and welcome to another unboxing. This is one you've probably been waiting for a while because you've seen this one a lot, but you may have not known as I have this one as well, which means I get to do a comparison. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Into the AM. As a company that believes hard work and a great product is a proper way to conduct business, I am delighted to have them as part of the channel. They have some of the coolest graphic t-shirts around and an absolute best fit and feel that has continually exceeded my expectations. With new shirts arriving all the time and other products like boxers, hats, and even a monthly shirt club, I wholeheartedly recommend them to you. Check out the link in my description of this video for an exclusive 10% off everything they sell. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that this channel is possible. If you appreciate the videos I make just like this, it is because of them that I'm able to do this, because I am able to remain independent and do just the videos I want to do in the way I want to do them and be much more selective in who I work with. And if you appreciate that, there is a link down below. Of course, there's also a great Discord community there as well if you would like to join that group. And with that, let's go ahead and jump right into things. Alright, let's go and dive right in, and we are going to actually be going with the unpainted version first. That way, when we look at the painted ones, not only do we have a base comparison, kind of like a control or something like that, but also so that we can focus just on, I think, the painting job itself, and not necessarily the miniature sculpt and design and stuff like that, unless it affects the painting, right? In which case, then of course, you're like, oh yeah, this was a good texture for that, or a good application to this, or, you know, whatever it might be. So I think that's how we're going to do it. We're going to do unpainted and then painted. So let's actually see here. If I can open it first, that's always the first kind of task, I feel. All right, let's take a look here. Which aren't too heavy, which is kind of nice. Okay, we got some tape. I hate tape, personally. It's actively terrible. I can do that, but I'm still going to struggle. And it's on this side too. Probably over here, yeah. All the corners. Alright, now it's still going to be stuck there. I was hoping it would just kind of pop, but I don't think it's going to. Alright, see, this is... I hate tape, guys. I really do. Anytime I get it, you guys know I complain and moan and groan. That's what I'm good at. May as well stick to my strengths, right? Alright, let's see here. Gotta really want to get in this. It's to keep the lid on, but there are other ways to keep the lid on. You can actually, while we're talking here, create a little inlet here and a little, or outward portion here, a little inward portion here, and then the lid typically snaps on to the top. You don't have to worry about it coming off. You don't have to use tape. You don't have to make me upset. That's pretty much in that order. All right. Now we do have a nice black tray. There's a little bit of kind of sound there, as you can see, but for the most part, it's not too flimsy, not too thick either. It seems to hold its shape quite well. Okay, now we have the boss versus boss mechanic. If this had been on top of the tray, it would not have done this, but it was not, and so it did. It's just, I mean, it's a minor thing, as you guys know. There is an index there with letter headings. Love it, looks great. This is going to tell you exactly how you can do Dragon v Dragon, or have them recruited and all sorts of fun stuff, so that's cool. Then we also have here, what is this? Oh, just like stat cards. By the looks of it, so it is wrapped very tightly, which I think that tightness helped it bend. And again, it's kind of freeform here. If it had been on top, it would have maybe been a little bit straighter. I'm not going to bother about opening that up though. Same with the cards. You guys have seen me look at all of these from the regular run. Let's go ahead and take a look at some minis. Let's start with the small lady here first and move on from there. We're going to zoom in. If I get the right corner, there we go. There we are. There she is. Okay. Sure, it's nice and bright for you guys. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. And I must say, this is very dynamic, and I like it. Again, a sculpted basis would be nice, but plain is fine too. But it is getting to the point where eventually that is going to be a negative, and it's certainly something I notice is missing. The sword is not ABS, and therefore it did bend. It is quite skinny and quite pointy. So overall, I'm happy that they didn't thicken it up or do anything like that. But you do run that risk, especially when it's just sitting in the tray like this, as opposed to laying down flat, that it has room to move around. Some hot water and then cold water will help bend this back to shape. You could even do this over and over again, but the hot water trick will do this just fine. It's very skinny, very nice, and I do like that it's not super fat. That's really appreciative. It means the final product will end up looking really, really good. Okay, and the sword itself looks like it's cool. It's assembled well. There's a little bit of a pore spout here, and that's it. That's fine. The armor here is very well done, I feel. Really, really like that. And it looks like the scales look good. You can definitely see all the different details there. Assembly-wise, there's a little gap here. I'm not too concerned about that. You can just paint that black. It should look okay. You can always, if you want to, and this is all one piece, and then these are separate pieces. So it's just like this cap. Put it in the freezer. It'll snap right off cleanly. The glue becomes brittle, but the minis doesn't care about the cold in the freezer at all. And then glue it back on to your heart's content. There is a little bit of a gap here with the knee. And this would be actually, I would fix this over this. You can see the little bit of the post there. It's close, and you could definitely do, but it is kind of noticeable there, the assembly. So I might fix that a little bit. This is very much multi-part though, and it is appreciated. So these wings are separate as well. And it's because you have all this negative space here, but it looks so much more natural and so much cooler. I also like that it's not, it's not symmetrical, right? It's wings and she's kind of turned, and it just looks really good. The bottom of the shoes look good. The detail here on the tail looks good. Like the little kind of pincer tail there at the end. Her fingers are separate. That's really appreciative. That it's not like mitten fingers. Those are distinct fingers, and it looks nice and natural, not just mitten hands, so that's good. Yeah, overall, I think this is definitely a win. This is probably the only issue I think I kind of have, but again, easy fix. I'll put her in the freezer, and then tomorrow I'll take her out, I'll pull this off cleanly, I'll re-glue it perfectly, and we'll be good to go. Otherwise, I'm not seeing any corners cut. Like this goes up here, which is nice. It's not flat and filled in here. There's a gap between her back and her wings because, again, like a natural gap, like because the wings are going out, right? Because these are separate pieces. So them spending the money and the time to make these separate pieces really did help. There is a small texture on the wings, but it is quite small. It's quite small. Mostly it's these ridges here that you're gonna really notice and see, and I actually really like that. Though it looks like the inner wings are kind of a different texture than the outer wings, so that's kind of neat, and keeps them visually distinct. Very cool. So that's some big dragons. Let's go ahead and we'll just start here. Oh my goodness, yeah, this is cool. I'm gonna have to zoom out now, guys. All right, here is the first dragon. Very cool. Love the sculpted base. I very much appreciate that. So you can, fill this in as like gold and stuff like that. The chest is actually a really big chest, not for a dragon though. Love the crown here. That's a nice little touch. It's hollowed out and with holes and stuff like that. They definitely put some effort into that, which I appreciate. The rock texture is textured even on the bottom here. Same with the dragon texture on the bottom. That's also quite nice, so it will be difficult to paint in there. So that's really good. Assembly-wise, again, there are a few gaps, so you'll want to fill it out. This is pretty typical for big models like this, in that it's just not really a perfect fit. Even like my JOA dragon and stuff like that, I had to fill in all sorts of different lines. Ends up looking great once you paint it. It'll be interesting to see. Oh, they got some of that little fuzzy stuff on there. That happens sometimes. It'll be interesting to see it's just probably from a little bit of glue on there. How the painted ones do with these gaps, how noticeable it is. I don't believe there's any surface that really fills in the gaps when they paint it. The thickness of the wings is quite nice. This tapers, and then this is obviously thicker and kind of worn and stuff like that. Kind of interesting. You can tell the wing is like damaged, right? Like it didn't go to its point, right? Which is really kind of cool looking, actually. I dig that. But then you see how far this sticks out. Same here. On the top, which is how you're going to see it on the table like this, right? These lines pretty minimal, actually. So that's nice. It's really, even this whole side, Really just kind of right on this underside here, which you're not going to be looking at. Same here. Once this is painted, I bet that just looks like shadows, so I'm not too concerned about that. The horns curving down are very cool. I dig that. And the texture of them is neat too. It is very much like a bone, almost like sculpted, but like in a cool way. The inside of the mouth is textured. The teeth look good. The tongue is separate and also looks quite nice. This is the focal point of the mini, so it's very important to get that. And I think it's very nice framing to then have the chest here and the crown here on kind of either side like that, along with him not pointing straight forward but actually out. Again, he's coming off the base here, which is also very cool. And look at that, it's labeled here too. That's neat. I dig that. Very, very cool. Love the texture differences. This texture, by the way, on his body is stellar. Like, it's really, really nice. I really dig that. Yeah, this is good. There's like almost no mold lines, and where it is, you don't even have to get rid of it. There's no cleanup involved in this at all, besides just filling in gaps. That's it. And that's if you just want it like super nice painted. Very impressed by this. And it's like solid. There's no hollow point there either. That is all dragon. All right, let's go and take a look at this one. This is a blue one. Yeah, blue dragon here. Very spiky dragon, this one. Again, the base looks super cool. Love that it's all textured. These leaves look awesome. Man, you can like feel them too. They're actually like hang over and stuff like that. The eggs hatching is frightening and cool at the same time. Even like the shell here. Very cool to see that. And then obviously guarding it on either side. The mouth being slightly open is fantastic. The eyes look good. The horn style looks interesting. All these spikes are super cool. They're actually like fairly sharp. That kind of hurts to pick up a little bit. The assembly on here is like perfect, by the way. There's a little tail one here because it needs to come off the base there. Legs all the way in the back. It definitely like lowered itself over this. Very, very cool. The texture on the wing, quite nice. I like that. That'll look really great with a very light dry brush. Just very light. And then on the inside, I love how it's like, it's almost like these ridges are very defined on this one. Thick neck like that. Love the underside versus the overside of that. The kind of plated scale there. Everything about this I think I like. This is actually a fantastic mini. This is really, really good, guys. All the fingers come to points. A tiny little bit of a mold line there. Nothing too bad. Base is nice and straight. It's thick. They didn't cheap out anywhere on this that I can tell. This is really, really cool. I dig this one. This might be my favorite one. This is really, what is that right there? Just a little inlet there where oh, look at that. Even the vines coming through there. That's kind of cool. You guys see that? Very cool. I like that one a lot. That one's awesome. All right. I don't even know how it went back in. We'll have to figure it out. All right, let's go on and do this one. This is the Black Dragon. A very powerful pose here. One thing I noticed instantly is how big the skulls are here. I'm assuming these are giants' skulls, but I don't know. It just like if it's supposed to be people, their heads are obviously much smaller, right? Here's the scale, so you can kind of see the scale there. These skulls are like as big as a torso of a person. So obviously not human skulls. At least I would say they aren't. Or this is a very tiny dragon, which I don't think it's supposed to be. I don't know. I don't like the scale of these. I would like these to be much smaller if I could help it. Additionally, this one doesn't have really anything around it either. So it's just like the centerpiece and then nothing. Now, I love basing and texturing, and I can do that like nobody's business. I can rub around a dirt texture or something like that, or lava or whatever I want, and that'd be cool. But oftentimes, especially if you're sculpting like this, it'd be nice not to just cut it off like that and really have it fill the whole thing. It looks like it was fit onto the base pretty good. You can kind of see a tiny little bit of a gap here. Very minimal, and I am totally fine with this. This looks, in fact, all the others even look fantastic. This is another well-assembled one. A tiny little bit of gap here. Again, there's not really anything you can do too much about that. It's just part of assembling plastic pieces. The rock texture looks good, and it looks like it matches the other ones, which I appreciate. The texture on this dragon is wild. Like, it's very kind of an exaggerated kind of look here. But then when you get to the tail, it kind of becomes almost like a carapace kind of thing. But you can see the big scale difference between the top and the bottom of the dragon. I think that's super cool. And then we have these like little spikes at the little joints. a little kind of an attack tail thing. It is not attached there. However, it probably should be. Again, it doesn't matter. It's too thick anyway, but it looks like it was even meant to maybe have an attachment point there. Really like this on display. The face looks good. The horn framing the whole face like that is awesome. I really dig that. Yeah, a cool one for sure. Very much like it. All right, now, oh my goodness, this is such a cool one. This is the white dragon, and as you can see, wow. So again, it did the thing where this is sculpted, but then all the way at the edges is not. It matters more here than here, obviously, but it's kind of an interesting thing to do. You might want to put like some snow effect here, something like that. These ice shoot things are super cool and quite sharp, really. And them on the ends of the wings, very smart decision. Love it. It is not the same pose as the last one we saw, but a similar pose. So it's really a powerful one where it's showing this off. These spikes here look cool too. Really, really did that. The texture on these wings are killer, and I love the fact that it looks almost like it ends here, right, on both of them. Like it's almost, again, like nothing's pristine and perfect here. The texture hides the gap here really well. Same with this. This looks good as well. That looks great. This gap here is fine. I'm okay with that. There's a little bit perhaps of a gap here that you might want to fill in if you have something similar to that. It's close though. Teeth look good. They are very spiky on the bottom. On the top, it's more of a texture, but a very defined texture, so it'll look great. Tongue looks good. It is textured as well. And just little horns on this guy. Very, very cool. He does hurt to pick up though, and it looks like there was one that bent a little bit. You can see that white bend mark there. So just be careful when you're picking them up and stuff like that, that you're not doing damage to you or him. It looks like it was a little bit here too. And that might actually be the lid pressing down on it. That's certainly a possibility. Very cool. Very cool dragon. All right, we got one more. This is the Undead Dragon. And again, super duper cool. So a wide variety of skull sizes. So you see big ones here and you see small ones here, which is kind of interesting. The skeletons on the side, super cool. Again, for scale though, this is a person. So as you can see, it's like a giant person, right? Their torso is about as big as down to like her knees almost. And the head size is much larger. So I don't know if they're trying to go for like a giant thing or if they just didn't quite get the scale right. That's also a possibility. The inside here of the skull, that's super cool that they did that. I love all the different bones. The arms here look cool. I love that they're like alive and clawing. There's another one here with his ribs like separated, which is super cool. Here, there's a little bit, I feel, some warping where the line wasn't definite between the filler and the skull. And you can see that softness here as well, and even a little bit over here. So just in this little area here, it's a separate piece, as you can see. It's slotted in there, and it just doesn't quite, I think, blend super well with the rest. They're a bit bigger too, as you see. Like these just seem bigger than these, which again, and something with multiple things is fine. One cool thing is, look at this. Look at that. That is hollow. You can actually see like inside of him, which is awesome. Very, very cool. Same here. You can see kind of the bone structure. And again, you can see inside of there. Awesome, awesome effect. Amazing. The wings, same. They're ravaged. They're cool. Love all the kind of spikes here. These seem a little like square to me. I don't really care how these like square off. I would like it to blend in perhaps a bit more. This looks better. Not quite perfect, but better. But this kind of rigidness just looks fake to me. I would have liked to have seen it kind of blend in a little bit more there. The skin draped over here looks cool. The claws being their full size look menacing, especially poked out like that. Same here, really big ones. The mouth and face look great. The teeth are all jagged and separate. They look wonderful. The assembly's really good on it. Love the horns, especially if they match back there. The pose, especially as he's reaching forward here. And notice his back is more like his back legs look scrawny, right? But his front ones are powerful and strong still as he's like dragging himself along this. The tail, amazing. It looks great. It is also not attached. Just such a cool design. What a cool mini. All right, let's go ahead and go to the painted ones. All right, let's look at the painted ones. I'm excited for this one. This should be really, really good. I don't know exactly how many operations they paid for each dragon. I imagine it's different for each one. And as with all pre-painted things, from what I have seen, that to get it to be good, you need to have multiple back and forth with the company to really kind of get exactly what you want. Right, we saw that with Street Fighter, and we saw that with several others where they decided, even a lot of Dragori's updates, they were, oh, okay, we don't really like how, this one came out or that one came out or whatever. So, oh, ripped painted. Now I just got to remember which one's which. This is actually really cool. So I'm excited to unbox this anyway because I will be giving away one of these to a donor as a thank you gift, and they get to pick if they want painted or not painted. That's totally up to them. As you guys know, I'm fully community focused on this channel, and so being able to raise funds and give back is just an awesome opportunity. So really excited for that. But let's also see what's so exciting about these painted minis. Hopefully they're really, really good. I can tell you right now, that actually looks pretty darn good. So that is cool. Let's see here. Oh man, okay, again with the tape. I hate tape, guys. I really do. There we are. All right, get out of here. Oh, good, there's more. I was worried I was done. All right. Again, locks on the lids and the little corners will make sure you don't need those. Oh, we've already looked at all this stuff. Wow, okay, yeah, color. Let's take a look at the small mini first and see where we land here, where we're at. Let's take a look here. Okay, made it a little bit brighter here, so hopefully you guys can really see it nicely here. This is really good quality, actually. Like, this is very well done. For a pre-painted job, it beats the snot out of a lot of others. A little bit of a bent thing here. That has nothing to do with the paint here. So, dangers that could have happened, and it looks like slightly did here. There's a little bit of a gold speck right there on her chest. That being said, there is like muscle definition even. Like there's actually, I don't know if that's actually just I don't know if they added the shadow or not, but that's quite impressive if they did. Anyway, the gold work here, it looks like it should have come a little bit lower, but that's fine. I don't see any obvious brush strokes or chipped paint or anything like that. The silver hair is not what I was expecting. That's interesting. That's cool. It's not just like a gray, it's like an actual silver. The wings look good. Tail looks great. Even like down here looks nice. It's all painted there as well. Glove looks great. Again, the fingers, awesome that she has it. Her eyes look fantastic, actually. That's really, really good eyes. Let me make sure you see that nice. There you go. There's the eyes. So you guys can see that. The lips, same thing. Did a very good job on the face, which is very easy to mess up, actually. So yeah, very good on this. Again, they didn't get really any skin here. There's a little bit of maybe of some skin there and a little bit of maybe some etching there. But, I mean, this is actually really, like, this looks nice. Nobody would be upset about having this on their table that I know of. So I don't want to meet them. All right, let's keep looking. Here is the red dragon. I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit now. Zooming in, I'll have to zoom out. Okay, this looks stellar. The wash adds a whole bunch to this. Same here, and in fact, the wash is towards the back, which gives it a nice natural look to it, which I very much appreciate. That looks great. The gold looks nice. Definitely stands out there. Really makes a pop from here. The underside is also painted, which tells me that they painted it before assembling, which is very helpful and good on them. A little bit of an assembly thing. You guys know how that is. And maybe a little bit of pooling right there. I'm not sure what's going on there. But overall, this looks great. Like, this is a nice mini. Like, I've seen toys painted worse than this. That is for sure. The dry brush on the rock looks good. I would be perfectly happy with this as well. Looks cool. All right. Oh, it looks like there's actually like a little bit of paint like in there. Do you see that right up there? Let's look at the blue one because my goodness. Blue and purple and everything in between. Okay. This screams freaking Ice Dragon. This is so much more thematic. It really is. There's a little bit of sloppiness on the base. But like this, the purple, pinkish, bluish, whitish look of all this looks great. The wash, they did very good. It's kind of hard to do white with a wash, but they did great with it. It looks nice. It's definitely defined. You can see the shape of them and all that. It's not too white. Yeah, it looks great. And again, painted underneath as well. So this is kind of like the same thing all over. A few brush strokes you can kind of see maybe right here. Unfortunately, it's kind of in the front, but the rest blend, I think, pretty well. Just that one right there is a little rough. Teeth look good too. They actually look white. And again, like this is not like, I mean, you know, you gotta have proper expectations for things. Just like looking at a PVC mini, and you can't get upset that it's not a Hips mini. You just note things that you see, and that's fine, you know. So, so far I've been impressed. Now this is the one in the pictures I liked the least. So let's see what I think about it in real life. Okay, there's a little bit of mess up here, so that is unfortunate. The base, however, is fantastic. It's like fully based. The rock here looks great. The leaves here look nice. So it looks very jungle-ish in a very good way. I like that. Again, these like horns and tusks and stuff like that look great. The eyes look fantastic. That looks really, really good. The teeth look good. I really dig that. Even the tongue inside is red. It's a very bright red, but it still works. Yeah, so he looks actually quite cool. I like his eyes a lot. The wash on here and the blend between the blue and the underside here, actually very good. I like that. This seems to either have more texture or more wash. I can't decide which one. I definitely like this wing more than this one. It gets a little plain here. But for such a vibrant blue that I was kind of worried about, I think this looks great. This is actually quite nice. I like him. He's very spiky. All right, then we got, I'm gonna put these back. This one, which is like the goth one. So this is like the dark dragon, right? We got black and pink. Love it. Again, the eyes look cool. They are different. This one's looking down. This one's looking straight. I don't care which one it is, but pick one. So a little kind of oof there. However, you're not really going to see them both. If you look straight on, you can kind of see it looks a little silly. Otherwise, it's pretty okay. I like the pink color more than the red color on the tongue. This, like highlighting underneath the like the white here underneath the horns and stuff and the spikes look really nice. It pops out from the dragon himself, which looks great. Yeah, the skulls are okay. You can see like they didn't dry brush on this side, or like this whole area isn't really. So it could have been a bit of a better dry brush there, but otherwise, this is pretty good. Very subtle. Kind of highlight here, but I actually dig that. It looks very stealth-like, if that makes sense. And it's just like sporadic, right? Like you can see splashes of it, which I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but I like it. So I'm okay with that. But the pink underside's where it's at, man. That looks freaking sweet. I dig that. And finally, we get the Undead one, which is pretty much all one color. So I am glad, and I was wondering if they would do this, that they picked a different white or different bone color for these guys versus him. So he's a very fresh yellow bone, and these are very dry, bleached white bone. I will also say that having it all colored like this makes it blend in more. If you recall, I was talking about the unpainted one, how this part here looked a little bit different, but painted, it looks a lot better. I would have liked a little bit more highlight on the skeletons, especially their heads seem a little, unvarnished, uncared for. But and then maybe underneath here too, it's a little plain there, maybe a little bit in there too. But overall, I think this looks quite good. There could have been a little bit more interesting. It looks like they have a little bit of a different hue here, but not a whole lot to really bring it out. I would have maybe liked a slightly more contrast here. But you know what exactly that looks like is of course up to the artist. And their design, but maybe like see how this is darker here, maybe that darker here, the darker brown would have looked great here. But overall, still very happy. He looks cool. He just has like black eyes, which I think are actually fitting, and a black tongue, which is super cool. So that's it. That's the painted minis, guys. That's everything that the Dragon collection has to offer. Let me know if you would prefer the painted or unpainted. Did you get the painted, and are you happy with it? I would love to hear from you guys. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and meet up for the next video very, very soon. I'll talk to you guys in just a little bit. Take care. Bye, guys.